Hi, Solei.
Kiki.
Start these things off. I just mean to say, welcome to the Spiritualist Vibe podcast. I'm your host, Kiki Sita. I'm just so excited about having my guest here today. I first met her when I flew down to Utah through divine intervention and did my psilocybin journey with her. She's a powerful medicine woman. She helps people with their inner healing so that they can create the life that they want. What she really does is she teaches people how to safely, effectively, and healthily process their emotions. So this allows people to then raise their vibration. And out of that vibrational frequency that has risen, they are then able to emit a different frequency out to the universe and then magnetize and attract and sync up with the life that they want in all areas of their life. I'm really excited to talk to her today because every time that I talk to her, I learn so much. And we don't talk often. We catch up maybe every few months, but we always seem to be paralleling with one another of what we're going through. And it's funny, I was just saying to her, like, I just intuitively, because we are so connected through intuition, that when I know that you're not texting me or calling, you're busy and I know it. And when I say busy, I don't mean like normie shit, like you're doing dishes and trucking the kids places. Like, I mean, you're like up in the quantum realm doing some serious energy alchemy work. And I am too at the same time. And then we come together and we talk about what revelations came to us. And we seem to always be very in sync. And the universe uses us together to co-create and get messages out to the people.
Thank you so much, Kiki. What a beautiful explanation and introduction. I appreciate you so much. And I absolutely love and honor who you are and the inner alchemy that you do, the special authentic gifts that you have. I do recognize my my soul recognizes your soul, and I feel very attuned with you and understand the work that you are doing is just as important. And so I appreciate you bringing us together and talking about some very important topics in which we are debunking myths, aren't we, Kiki?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the order of creation. First off, we've been taught completely backwards. Surprise, surprise. And we are here to talk about the correct order of creation today. What is the correct order of creation? Like, what does that even mean to people?
So let's talk about the myth first, as far as how people create in what society has domesticated them into what we have been doing, which I would say brings a certain kind of exhaustion at a certain point in life where we should not be experiencing that kind of exhaustion in this human experience. So the backwards myth is that we need to be doers. And so please don't take this the wrong way. When I talk about doing is absolutely a part of an important aspect of creating in this physical world of matter. We are all creators and we are co-creating together and with source. And so the backwards method that we were taught is that we need to run around and do the 100 details on our list that we create for ourselves and that the media pumps out to our minds. So we have believed that we have to be a bunch of beings of infinite tasks. So we start with tasks and we write down, you know, tell me if you're like this. I've done this. I've written down my tasks for the day. They equal, 15 to 20. I have a very large family right now. I have a blended family of 9 kids. I live in a blended marriage with my husband. And so, meaning like the two of us and then the 9 of our kids. I have 5, he has 4. And the methods of task doing and all of these tasks were obviously backwards because in 2019 I was very abruptly halted in these patterns so that I could create new patterns. And when I say this, I was in a traumatic car accident, smashed my head into my car, my head and body into my car going 50 miles an hour. I was not buckled. And so I had to create new patterns in my brain because a traumatic brain injury requires a lot of attention and healing. And so the old patterns were be the list doer. And with my ego, I was creating all these things to do. You could create 10, 15, 20 things, 25 things to do in a day. And then you start taking your pen and checking them off as you go. And I would maybe get 5 to 7 things down, and that was the capacity I had. And then I also emotionally didn't feel great because I didn't accomplish my list of 30 things. And there's some sort of a badge of honor and accomplishment. Look at all that I'm doing. Look at this list of 20 tasks I have here. I'm a badass, and so that's actually the last part of the order of creation. And it creates a lot of discouragement and disappointment.
Mm.
So when we talk about frequency, let's talk about discouragement and disappointment. So the frequency of discouragement and disappointment, and I'm almost there, I've almost got it. That energy of I want, longing, I'm almost there, keeps people in a perpetual cycle in which those who actually understand the true order of creation have power over us when we have lower frequencies like that. Fear, guilt, shame come along with that. So if you want to reclaim your power, you've got to understand how to raise your thought emotional frequency.
And as you're saying that, sorry to interject, as you're saying
That's
that,
okay.
I'm envisioning, and I read this thing about people with ADHD that they won't look at the person that is speaking because they're looking somewhere else, but they're envisioning what that person is saying. So as you're saying that, I'm envisioning the emotional scale where shame and guilt and disappointment are vibrating at like 15, 20, 30,
Yep.
and enlightenment and confidence and everything and all of that is like upwards of the 800s. So it's people that understand that they do it at that level. They definitely do have power over you, vibing low here.
Yep.
And then also what came to mind was that we are not talking about the fact that things are created at an energetic conscious level before they manifest into the physical level.
Yes,
If people just
exactly.
understood that it is like the basis foundation of quantum mechanics, that is how it is, people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what it is, this pot, this phone, this me, everything is always created at a non-physical level, at an idea level, at a thought level, at a conscious level, and then it manifests into the physical. So we have people doing the 30 things and doing the list and the task, and then they're doing before they line up their energy and their frequency to the things that they want to do, before consulting their higher self, their spirit guides, their higher spiritual faculties to say, this is my brain dump today. You need to help me funnel and organize and have proper orders so that you can funnel this back down into a way that me and my 3D self can actually, bring this. I just saw it the other day where it's like, God understands your defectiveness. He
Mm-hmm.
understands that when he gave you your mission.
Yep.
But people are running around, especially more than ever, doing what you are talking about. They are, I mean, all you got to do is look on TikTok and you have all these influencers where I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Look at. I have all these things.
Look
And
at me, look at me.
wow, by 4:30 a.m., you've already gone for a run. You've done your yoga. You've, invested in the stock market and like,
I
it's
was that person, Kiki. I
ridiculous.
used to be that person until the universe is like, here's an accident for you. You got to stop it.
Okay, so let's go back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So as far as debunking the myth, we've been taught that we have to prove something, that there's some sort of badge of honor to have a huge list of things to do, a lot of tasks to do. And with that comes discouragement and disappointment in oneself. And so when we vibe in that frequency, it's going to be very challenging to attract anything else other than what the universe is just sitting there saying, as you wish, to my frequency.
Mhm.
So if I'm hanging out in discouragement and disappointment most of the time, the universe is just going to say, well, here's your frequency. here's more things to be discouraged and disappointed about. And then if I catch myself in victim mode of why is this happening, then I need to check back with, oh, it's because my frequency is way low and these are the things that are coming to me. So you know how sometimes you want to say, what the fuck? I have found a new phrase where it's what in the field?
I love that.
What in the field did I put in however long ago? So
Yeah.
this is a practice. We're going to be super graceful, you and I, Kiki, with ourselves, and please, all of our viewers, I hope that you feel drawn to listen to this, and the simplicity of this is extremely powerful. So I want you to also, all of you, please have grace for yourself. We are calling this a practice because as I have had to rebuild my brain from almost ground zero, y'all can rebuild your brains too. You just have to erase those old pathways and create new ones with the quantum physics and quantum methods of healing and understanding that. So let's talk about the proper order of creation, because we know what's backwards. Like you said, Kiki, if we don't create in our imagination the idea first and how it feels to have that accomplished, that idea created, then it's not going to become anything in fruition in the physical world.
I believe that God had that happen so that you could uncreate what you had been living this whole time and recreate now and have such a strong voice and have such a strong intensity to you. Like people need to know this because we are shifting quantum. I still feel like if I am not following the correct order of creation, I end up in stress and overwhelm. And so many people are on a fritz right now. And also, I'm noticing in the economy, aren't you noticing that people can't do any more? They're maxed at what they can do as to what they're getting back. And so this old system is just not working anymore. We have people working 3, 4 jobs to
Yep.
make a living, and they're like, I literally can't do anymore. And so this is
Right.
where people like us come in. They're like, yeah, because that is an old paradigm that is crumbling. The new earth paradigm is coming in. Let me show you the way. This is how it has always meant to be as you're waking up to the illusions and the lies and the matrix and this system that you've been stuck in. And now is the time to awaken the pineal gland, awaken the third eye, use your imagination because that is where it starts. So
Yes.
let's go into the correct order of creation. And it does start with your imagination, does it not?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kiki. So I have a few mentors that really help me build my neural pathways with divine intelligence in my brain and nervous system, and therefore it translates in my body. So Neville Goddard is one of my favorite mentors. He teaches live in the law of assurance. So if you think, feel, and speak to something, then you fully believe that you ask and you shall receive. So let's make sure we're in order there so that we can receive exactly what we are asking for. So the way that Neville Goddard explains it, in which we will get started there, I feel is extremely direct, simple, and easy to understand. And if you want complicated and a list of 50 things to do, you're in the wrong place. I love you. You can go live that paradigm out until you're ready for a new one. So this is a 3-step process, or symbolically speaking, Neville Goddard talks about it, the 3-day process of the Christ resurrection. It took 3 days for him to create new life and resurrect the body. And so when we speak days, time is a creation of mankind. So when we talk 3 days, just remember that this is symbolically speaking as far as phases. So there are 3 phases to creation. The first phase is the spiritual gestation. So this is the spiritual pregnancy of the idea and the frequency, or the imagination idea and the frequency of what it is that you are creating. That is step 1. So you think about, in the most detailed way, involve your five senses as much as you possibly can. And what does it feel like? So say, for example, I'm I've created a Hawaiian trip with my kids and Alan and his kids to celebrate my son graduating the Air Force, like his training for the Air Force. And so, and this is real for me right now. I would love to gift a family trip to all the kids to Hawaii. So I'm sitting there, I close my eyes, and I can witness us throwing a frisbee around on the beach. Some of us are swimming around in the ocean. The sun is warm. I can smell the vibrant plants that are near the sandy beaches. I can hear the tropical birds singing. I can hear the ocean waves. I can hear us all laughing, and I can feel myself catching the frisbee and then running to throw it to the next person. I can feel the sand in my toes, and the sun is so warm. It's probably about 85 degrees, and it's incredibly warm, and the air is just slightly moist. And so this is the visualization that I'm creating. And as you have noticed, I am involving all of my senses the best that I can in this creation of my family playing around on the beach in Hawaii. And so as I create this spiritually, and this is my meditative practice at least twice a day, or as often as I choose to close my eyes and think about this trip, this is giving a frequency information to the universe around me, the creative universe, to start bringing in physical manifestations of creating this trip. So spiritual gestation. I just showed you what that looks like, to create something and put it in spiritual gestation. That's what that is. That's day one.
Okay,
Or
can I
phase
just
one.
interject?
Yeah.
I just did this. So my trip to Thailand that I took for 3 weeks in February with my man, I meditated over that trip so much, and I loved going there. I was envisioning us in the pool, infinity over the ocean. I envisioned a resort that like you had to go quite a ways up a mountain, that when we get there, we would just be treated like royalty, and they'd be
Wow.
miles, that we would be so in love, that there'd be such a like a vortex of energy around us at all times, that our energy would be so magnetic that people would just want to like give amazing opportunities and give us directions to beautiful places. And I envisioned the scenery and the smells and everything. And during the last week of our vacation, it was like probably like the first day of the last week kind of thing, I went into meditation again, and I had a crazy vision where it was like, is this as good as you think it can get? Like, you've got a week yet. Are you gonna like plateau? And it was like, no, 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 no. Like, fill up with more energy, more, more, more. Yes, yes.
Oh, I love
And it
it
was
so
like,
much.
whoosh, take you higher. And then that was like that cherry on top of the cake. That week was everything that I had envisioned coming together. It was like a crescendo building. And then the end was like, is this my fucking life? Like, I literally but I could honestly say I literally created all of this because I lived it before I lived it. And my girlfriend texted me, she's like, how's it going? I was like, girl, I am living the dream right now. Like,
Oh.
so amazing. And it was all by divine design, as you call it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so
It
beautiful.
worked. I was like, it makes, yeah, it's a crazy process. Let's go into spiritual gestation and then the second phase.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that you did that and that you experienced it. This
Where
is exactly what our audience needs to hear, is that you had created in spiritual gestation the imagination. And so thank you so much for sharing something that has actually physically manifested for you. So that was phase one. Phase two. So this is your phase of faith. So when we talk about full faith, we talk about what Neville Goddard teaches it as is the law of assurance. So when you think and feel and speak towards something, in full high vibe frequency of the joyfulness that it has happened. Live in the end. That's what he teaches. The law of assurance is living in the end as your dreams have already all taken place. So you're going into your visualizations. And so the question is, well, what do you want to create? We're all creators and we're co-creators. And when two shall come together and agree on something, this is from Florence Scotian. She's another favorite mentor. When two shall come together in faith and believe in something together, so it is. It amplifies the vibration of it to happen even faster and more abundantly and beautifully. And I have witnessed this many times.
That is huge. Because even as you were talking about the frisbee and stuff, I was getting visions of you and Alan's relationship just like igniting into like a next level, and like your hair was blowing, you looked so good. And when I'm envisioning your dream, I'm adding momentum to it, right? And as
Yeah.
humans, as we start to really grasp this concept, this divine correct order of creation, this is how we can then get together, add our momentum to one singular vision or a bunch of them and take time to do this. This is why they keep this information from us, because we are that powerful as all individual conscious creators, and then coming together and adding momentum to each other's visions.
Yes, exactly. This is exactly what I absolutely love that you brought this up as far as co-creating. The other myth I'm going to interject as we are in phase 2. So if you're taking notes, phase 1 is the spiritual gestation phase, the thought, imagination, and emotional frequency of it. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is living in the end, or the law of assurance, which is full faith, believing holistically that it is done. And Kiki just added another very important, very simple and powerful way of being that we have been taught to move away from this, especially since the lies and the craftiness of the COVID stuff. We were taught to isolate, and we've also been taught to isolate for a long time, even in parental books that I read when I had young kids, to figure out how to effectively raise them in the world so they can be successful, happy humans. Well, I was taught to teach them to self-soothe. This is incorrect. Your babies, all of us, no matter how tiny we are, or moving into toddlers, or anywhere in our adolescence, or anywhere as adults, we humans need interaction, connection, affectionate, safe, and healthy touch. We need to come together. So when, as I have had people that are creating an answer to their questions when they come and work with me, and they want to create the inner alchemy and the inner transformation work to get the answers that they want and to create what they want, we will come together and sit in meditation and create miracles together. So, and I'm also going to encourage you, Kiki, that we come together more often ourselves to create something. Like, what if you're like, you come to me and say, hey, Solei, I really want to create this. Can you add your spiritual vision frequency to this, your faith to this? So it's like a meditative prayer we do together.
Mm-hmm.
So the next myth we are debunking is, in order to heal and create, you must isolate. Meh, that's not correct. Wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, and that's not to say don't have your own spiritual time alone. Please don't misunderstand that. I do believe in your own alignment and self-love, self-care, self-meditation, whatever you need to do to feel full, grateful, and aligned. I also believe that we need to come together and connect, and that this is what helps humans to rapidly heal and create beautiful new things, is when we come together as friends, as communities, as families. I don't care if your family is blood or not. Create a tribe, create a handful of friends that you can trust implicitly, will add faith to your visions and you add faith to their visions. We come together and create a beautiful new earth and a new way of being in 5D. So the second phase in completion is the law of assurance, living in the end, or full faith. This is the trial of your faith. You will be given some experiences by the universe to see if you can uphold your frequency in faith, believing that it's already done, no matter how many weird things happen that crumble and then build up for you to create a new. Be undisturbed by that. Be in your happy state of grateful faith. And and come together if you need friends, if you feel like you need friends to add to your creations, that it comes with phase 2. Phase 3, this is when it begins to manifest in the physical world around you. This requires inspired action. So when you sit in meditation and you state to source, thank you that I know exactly what to do, and you get some downloads, you're going to pay attention to these gentle thoughts and feelings that come in because they're gentle. The ego is loud and obnoxious. The spirit of truth is gentle, and it will come in at the right synchronicity and the right timing for you to connect with people or to do interesting tasks that you are wondering why you're doing it. But this is all because the universe is conspiring to gift you what you have asked for. So this is a time to listen. And I'm going to bring up the 5-second rule. When you get inspiration, the most important thing you can do is act within 5 seconds. Do not procrastinate that. So that phase 3 is all about inspired action, and it's coming into the fruition of the physical world. So those are the 3 phases of creation. And another way to talk about those 3 phases as well is, just in short, what I have created is like a basic protocol, a customized transformation guide for people that choose to come and work with me and they want to heal and do their inner alchemy and then create something to their heartful desires. This is a part of my customized transformation guide that I create for people. It's called the Order of Creation. So the very first aspect of that is your thought imagination process. So you're going to tend to your thoughts and your imagination like you would a beautiful garden. If you have any weeds in there that are encumbering your beautiful plants, you're going to weed the weeds out as you see them. So you're going to mindfully watch your thoughts. And if you start going into the world of the thoughts of aliens, and that's another thing Florence Scovel Shin teaches is the alien thoughts. You can go in there and take your alien gun and just get rid of all those aliens.
That is like the lies, the negativity that rolls
Yep,
in. Okay.
exactly. So the limitations, the lies,
Gremlins. I heard it referred to the little,
the,
everyone has these little gremlins inside their brain. Yeah.
yep, the aliens or the gremlins, whatever you want to call them, the weeds. So number 1 is tend to your thoughts like a beautiful garden. And if the aliens or gremlins of thoughts come in, that is up to you to redirect into your positive creations and results. Do this as soon as you possibly can so you can keep your frequency high. And please remember, if you go into a human experience where your frequencies go back down again, your thoughts go back down again, one of my favorite statements that I like to use, actually there's 2. Number 1 is, I cast these burdens on the Christ within and I go free.
Ooh.
So that
Can you say that
immediately,
again?
I cast these burdens on the Christ within and I go free.
Mm. It's so interesting because when I close my eyes, it's like I cast my cares upon the, outside of me. And then you said the Christ within. I was like, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
need is inside of us. And so that graceful alchemizing energy is already there. We just need to speak to it because your word is your command. So I'm going to approach that in just a few steps here, but so number one is just to reiterate the tending to your thoughts like a beautiful garden. And so that was an explanation of that. That's number one. Number two is your thoughts create an emotional frequency.
What was the second thing that you say? So you say, I cast.
I cast my burdens on the Christ within and I go free.
Okay. And then what was the second thing that you like to say?
So the second thing that's coming up, because there's a few, but the second thing that's coming up that I feel like people will be able to remember easily is I baptize these things unto success.
Ooh, I like that too.
Or I baptize these experiences unto success. So you're basically cleansing it all clean so you can start over and
Mhm.
create what you actually want. So it's not muddy. The reason why we're so careful about our thoughts and emotions is because we can create muddy results. But
Mm,
we can actually take care of the mud just like that. Because remember, we are all co creators. We have these powers, and there's power in your tongue. So speak to your truth. And I don't care how many times you have to say it. Sometimes I have like said it multiple times throughout the day because there's something I'm working on. There's some aliens, I'm trying to get them out. And so I will repeat it over and over incessantly on those kinds of days.
yeah.
So I want you to know none of us here are perfect. We're all having the human journey.
Yeah. It's not a one.
So yeah, I baptize these things or these experiences unto success. There's another there's another affirmation that's coming up if those that are listening want to take notes. These affirmations, these are the three that have come up. The next one is that I use is I call upon the magic eraser of the Christ. I sweep all behind and before me. And I no longer live under karmic law. I now live under grace.
Mm, yeah, that landed.
So, yes, those three, if any of you want to take notes on those three very powerful alchemizers right in that moment,
Hmm.
and please repeat them if you need, as many times as you need it. So, that is the thought emotion frequency. Thoughts create emotional frequencies. There's how you alchemize your thoughts and emotions rapidly. Now, we're going to go to the point that your tongue has power or your word is your wand. So the reason why I bring up affirmations is because you are speaking your command to the elements of the universe. A lot of people will go through their lives joking around and speaking their words idly into their own self-destruction.
Mm.
I've done this. I'm going to be so honest. And I still catch myself like, what did you just say? And I'm like, I call upon the magic eraser of the Christ. I say it so quickly.
Cancel.
I'm like, cancel, cancel, cancel.
Null and void across all times of space and all
Yep.
dimensions. Yeah.
That's it. And so I will correct myself so quick because I'll find those aliens try to take over. I'm like, not today, aliens.
Yeah.
So I will quickly alchemize those as I know that in the human experience, I slip and I slip multiple times a day. And it's up to me to catch it quickly.
So that was very powerful. You are speaking your command to the elements of the universe. I love how, I mean, I know that you channel when you speak, and I love that it's your words cut like razor blades. And I always say when it's I've literally gotten visions of how when you reduce everything, and I hate to use the word reduce because it's at that quantum level, it has more power and nuclear energy than anything. But when you are looking at something to its most conscious form, it comes down to sound and light.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're using your own voice, and the beautiful thing about using your own voice, it's like identification, right? Like you have your own unique frequency, your voice, the way that the vocal cords vibrate, the way that you can tone your own body by humming, your own blueprint. Only your own blueprint can truly do that. And when you use your throat chakra and you're speaking things into existence and you're using the power of your voice to have authority over the
Yeah.
realm, and you are speaking into the realm. I have literally gotten visions as to how the sound vibrational frequencies of your voice then grabs these cooperative components that assimilate together and start building the quantum realm to what you're speaking to. It's a voice, it's a sound, it's a wave that gets carried out and actually grabs these components out of the quantum realm and starts to orchestrate them before you even experience it. It's the power of the throat chakra.
Exactly. You explain that so well, especially to those that are understanding the quantum physics of
Mhm.
all things. And like you also said, I love that you said this, your voice has a very authentic frequency. And so the thing that also came strongly to raise your vibration, there's a few things. If you're having a struggle day, you're on this, you're looking at the struggle bus and you're like, am I going to get on that struggle bus? If you're having a struggle day, there's a few ways that you can quickly correct and practice. Now, remember, it's not a one and done. We're going to remind you this is a practice. So if you notice the struggle bus, you can sing to yourself.
Mhm.
Pick a very uplifting, positive song. Um, it could be a song that you were sung when you were a child, or it could be a song that that's very uplifting that you've enjoyed as an adult or whenever it has come in, but it completely uplifts your mood. I don't care if you think you can sing or not. Sing to yourself.
Mhm.
Um, it's like one of my favorite songs from Pink. I think it's called Sunshine. Cover Me in Sunshine. I'm not
Mhm.
going to sing to you right now, but anyhow, I will sing that song to myself. And there's a number of other songs that I enjoy singing. And so your vocal cords, the frequency of your voice is extremely authentic. And Kiki also brought up again, speaking with authority, commanding with authority that it is done. That is another one of my favorite statements. When I'm thinking, feeling, and speaking toward a vision, an affirmation, I always complete it with it is done. So I'm going to just give you an example as far as the confident command. This is not an arrogant command. I would say this is like a balance of humble confidence. We know we're co-creating with God, with source. And and so there's that humility and understanding of the blessings of that highest power. And then there's the confidence of your full faith. So with your humble confidence, you're going to speak with that kind of a command. And so it sounds like this. So if I'm going to speak, it is done, it's going to sound like this. It is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is very commanding. That's very confident. That's very direct. I believe that I have been heard and that it will be answered according to as detailed as I have made my request. Or it can sound like this. Please give me this and thank you.
Mhm.
So there's a difference in tone there and in frequency. So the begging and the pleading and the please, that's not necessary. In fact, that's in the longing, I almost have it energy. The begging energy is not going to get you what you want. But
And
when you speak with authority in a command that you've been heard and it's already happened in the spiritual world, so therefore in the physical world it happens, that's when it unfolds for you.
yeah, all right. So
So
your word is
uh,
your
pardon, say that again.
so your word is your want is your second step to the divine order of creation.
Yes. So, well, in my personal customized transformation guide, it's your thought imagination process. Your then number two is the frequency of your emotions. So, or the frequency of your thoughts is your emotions. That's number two. Number three, your word is your wand. And then number 4 is inspired action. So as you have spoken to the elements of the universe begins formulating synchronicities and giving you spiritual ideas on what to act upon. So that is actually the last step, not the first step. We could run around like the statement, run around with a chicken with its head cut off. So think about that. Like that is actually what we've been doing is, cutting off that imaginative part and running around without a dream in place.
And the thing about that is that you won't get the universal synchronicities that you need to
No.
guide you. So you're just like doing, and you're not going to get the breadcrumbs from the universe. You're not going to get the things coming together where it's just like, oh, I can kill three birds with one stone kind of thing. A
Mm-hmm.
woman that lined up with it, this is a true story. A woman that lined up with the energy first, she said, Universe, I need to get a car wash, I need to get a gift certificate, and I need to get a massage today. And I don't know how I'm going to get all those done because I have just a limited amount of time, but that is what I need. So release it up to the creator. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Car wash had a massage chair there. So while she was waiting for her car to get washed, she was getting a massage in the massage chair. And then she looks over at the till and there's a rack of gift cards. And she's like, well, I can just grab my friend a gift card and that will be, and a card, and that will be her present. So three birds, one place, like those
Wow.
are such simple things that line up, and we don't see them from our limited human perspective when we're trying to get the to-do list done. We don't take that time to get out of our monkey brain and go higher up. We're just going to be with a monkey with the symbols clashing back and forth. That's how most of people's days look. If I don't
This,
have with
yeah.
frequency, certainly that's how my days look too. I'm not going to excuse myself from this. If I do not line up with the vision first, I can spend months just clinging around and going crazy and then feeling overwhelmed and then trying, oh, I'm going to try the only thing that worked in the first place and then do it that way and being like, oh, good. Well, that was easy. It's like, yeah. And my spirit guides are probably looking down on me being like, bingo, welcome back.
Yeah, it's so true. It's a very consistent remembrance and practice. And so with that very last step being inspired action, it's really important to have that place in your day or multiple times a day where we just create silence and mindfulness and just being in the present moment, because that is how we can actually hear our inspired intuition on what actions to take. Because if we're not quiet enough, remember the statement or the scripture, however you want to put it, be still and know that I am God, meaning your inner highest consciousness is communicating in a very gentle and direct way. But if you're so busy running around clinging your symbols like a monkey that has no direction, you're not going to hear that intuitive voice telling you what to do next, and you're going to miss those synchronicities.
I was going to say, you cannot do any of this, any and everything that you've talked about, you can't do without meditating,
Yep.
without going into that quiet place. And that is what, it's just the last thing on people's list.
It should be the first.
Yeah.
I also create a morning power routine, I call it.
Okay.
Number 1 is gratitude prayer. So affirming what you're grateful for, what you have, all the things you feel like you want to state that you experience, down to the tiniest little things. It doesn't matter. The attitude of gratitude is a creative, attractive energy of beautiful things, more blessings. Number 2, right with it, is meditation, visualization. And then I write down what inspirations come in that moment.
Mhm.
I don't need to overwrite. If spirit's like, all I want to tell you to do right now is these 2 things, I'm like, thank you. I'll write them down. So then I can take inspired action. I always do my self-care, taking care of my mind, body, and soul, along with my gratitude and vision for the day. And then I go into taking care of my physical body with exercise and supplements and stretching, whatever it is that my body needs to feel good. So then when you write those things down in your gratitude prayer and inquiries, when you can state what you're grateful for, ask for what you need in the day, and refer back to maybe you have a greater vision you're working on, and what are the steps for today? Thank you, God, that I know exactly what to do today. That's another affirmation I use when I wake up. Thy will be done. Today is a day of completion. Thank you that I know exactly what to do today. Miracle shall follow miracle, and wonder shall never cease. I stand in awe and wonder at the miracles happening for me.
I love that.
And so these prayers, these affirmations, they are prayers for manifestation of what I am creating and the frequency of what I am creating. And so Kiki is excellent at her meditation practices. I would love to encourage all of you to purchase her meditative practices that she has so diligently and beautifully created for other people to enjoy. These are very powerful. Please order your set from Kiki of meditations, because they will transform your life. And so that is absolutely the number one process in the day that is the most important to move through.
Thank you for that. Can we
Yeah.
quickly talk about why, unless there's something else, and then we'll come back to it, but can we talk about why meditation is people's last resort? The thing that came to
Yeah.
mind for me was that you said at the very beginning, we've been taught backwards, that this is all backwards, and that people will literally make themselves terminally ill before they finally meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Bizarre. But
It's
why is that? Besides the fact that this is how backwards it is, and this is how deeply conditioned we all are, that we will do anything but believe that this is the first order of business, is meditation and lining up your energy.
Can I tell you why I think that's the case?
Please.
Because we've been taught to earn love and to prove ourselves. This is also another myth. And so when we go out and we do our list of tasks, it's like 20 to 30 things long, and we present it to the world in social media or whatever it is. Look at all the things I did. You see, I'm worthy of love.
Hmm.
So we, through our bodies and our tasks and our images, are trying to live a myth, which is proving or earning love. This is incorrect. We are already loved, and we have, by divine right, the gift to give and receive. First, let's talk about receiving, then giving. Please nourish and give yourself love first, so then you can give. So that was also backwards. Give, then receive. Well, geez, what do I have to give if my human bucket is empty? So the myth that you have to earn or prove yourself worthy of love, let's begin alchemizing and transforming that right now to you are already loved. You nourish your receiving love first within yourself. However you feel joyful, sing, dance, exercise, lift weights, go for a bike ride. Of course, with all of that, make sure you do your gratitude meditations and prayers first. um, Fill yourself up full of gratitude and joy. Receive, because that is your gift by divine right, to receive abundant love and joy. And then you have capacity to give it. So there's no earning it. And that is why I feel like people go into their gazillion lists of tasks. Because, like, look at all the good things I've done. Am I worthy to love now? Oh, you are worthy and have always been worthy from the in the infinities.
And it's just not about that. If you really truly want to create a fulfilling life, it doesn't look like that, you know? The
Mm-hmm.
that I have created that are the most satisfactory in my life, that every time that I come home, I'm in the place that I created in my mind. Every time that I'm with my partner, I get as googly eyed today as I did the first day, and it just continues to just give back to me. It is that is that's vibing to me. Those are the things that I created by divine design, and they never feel like the to-do list.
Mm.
They always came in a way that the universal synchronicities lined up to make that happen and all of this, and it just kind of happened. And that, it was a magic that was woven into all of the things that had to come together it was literally like, swirl the magic pumpkin kind of thing. That's how the universe works. It never the juiciest things in my life that continue to give back to me, that continue to like give me this kinetic energy where I feed into it and then it gives me back. And it just is. Those are none of that felt like a to-do list. I went out and I did the thing and I did the da, 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 da. Never, none of it. So the things that continue to be that way for me are all things that I created using this method. And that's, I haven't done it with everything. We're always creating more, but I can look back at the things that I did create in this way, and they are fulfilling. They are the thing that make me so happy that I'm living my life.
Mm. I love that so much, Kiki. This feels really important right now to get your meditation recordings out there, because this very much is in alignment with what we have talked about today.
Yeah.
And so I want to reiterate to all of our viewers to, and wherever it is that people can go in and purchase your meditation series, I would strongly encourage that, and do it as soon as possible. Do it while you're listening to this, because this is exactly the process, the method in which we are talking about. And Kiki herself is a living example of how to appropriately bring something into the physical manifestation of your experience. And so, where can people best purchase their meditation series from you?
I love how you just search as okay, so they can go to my Instagram page, which is I am Kiki Sita. It's in the link in the bio. It's under beacons, and you can choose the product. It's called Meditation 101. And it is basically, like I said, I mean, I think you, Soleil, are the only other person that really does meditations this way, where you see yourself as the divine conscious creator that you are, with your chakra systems, with your connectivity to the divine, to the realm. You get out of the body into that quantum realm where all possibilities exist. You use that conscious power, and then you learn to funnel that back down into the nervous system.
Mm,
Often
yeah.
the juiciest part is when you can start to feel this like bump, 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 bump in your body, and then
Mhm.
you're looking at your hands as though they're different. You're different. Your entire grid is lit up with
Mm,
this downloaded energy of this energy alchemy, where it's like you're going up the funnel and then you're funneling that back down, and then you become that. So then when you move out into the universe and you're moving through this 3D space-time reality, it's like moving in water. If you move in water, you see the ripples, you see how you're affecting the field around you. That field around you is there in the form of cosmic plasma.
mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you're moving through the 3D world, you're literally moving as the embodiment of this order of creation, this energy alchemy that had to take place before you're able to take the actions and talk to the physical person or things or encounter the physical things by following the universal synchronicities. But that is how you then make shit happen in this realm, where then the whole point of it is that we want to be able to, smooch the partner that we created. We want to be able to to feel it, to use it with our five senses. We want to smell it. We want to be in it. That's the whole process of this, is that we funnel it back down to the human experiential cycle, I think, or experience, as you call it, so that we can enjoy it with our bodies, with our five physical senses.
Yes, exactly. And I do have a very specific question about your meditations. So it sounds like it's Meditations 101. in as an introduction to how to effectively and efficiently meditate to create what you want. I also know that a lot of people are wanting to recreate their methods and abilities to create wealth, to
Mm.
create good and beautiful health and well-being in the body, to create a wonderful romantic partnership as well as healthy relationships in family and friends, to create living their higher authentic purpose. So do you have meditations that are directed towards those four major topics I call the quadrant of life?
Oh, that's another podcast, isn't it? The four quadrants.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And do you have more work to do in regards to meditations?
I definitely do. I definitely want to start recording meditations, like guided meditations. I'm starting to figure out that I do it differently than other people do because I have myself gone into guided meditations. I've loved using guided meditations and that. But some of them bore me to death, to be
Uh-huh.
right. And it's all like sometimes it's like, no, I want to funnel that, I want to nut that Kundalini energy up the spine. I don't want to always come down and go into relaxation mode. So I want to create my
Yeah.
meditations because they're activating. So that is I have to do that work is to create guided meditations that I want to give out to people. But there is actually a course that I made. It's called Manifest Your Divine Masculine, where
Mm,
I direct this specifically to finding your partner, because that is also one of the things that I'm very proud of that I did. I consciously created him. I could have sworn that I created it was like Build a Bear in the quantum realm. And
I
I swear
love
to God,
that.
just like walked out of a portal one day and it was everything that I wanted. And that's why I can keep looking at him for who he is and who he's like growing and becoming, and just continue to like to love it as much as
Mm,
and more than I did the first days, because it was something that I did with the universe. It was me consciously creating that.
I love that. And I love that you stated that you can, uh, talking about growing and becoming, that in a beautiful human experience in relationship, in a romantic partnership, that you grow together. It's not just one person. If it's only one person growing, then that creates a divide. But the fact that the two of you are using your consciousness to grow together, and that, let's be genuine and honest, there are some phases of growth that feel a little bit unsettling and a little bit tumultuous, but then both people are choosing the accountability of their inner healing and their inner alchemy. And
So
so that I love that you mentioned that, because that's a lot of people would really love to really tune into that gift of partnership and moving together in being a power couple.
yeah. So I was not planning on going here today, but since you mentioned this, that's kind of what we're moving into now, because I understand this correct order of creation. And then, like we were talking before, I also understand that when you take more than two heads are better than one, two consciousnesses behind a singular idea, goals, all of that is more powerful. And then add orgasmic energy, as we know, is like the most
Yeah.
potent nuclear form of energy explosion. So what we're working on right now, which is like I'm thinking of in the future, I'm like, maybe we can use this to help other couples, is that we're going to get very clear on what our goals are and what our visions are, and no judgment. Like if what does wealth look like to you? What does wealth look like to me? We're going to compile it all together, write a list, and then honor each other's desires and what we see and what we want, and be like, okay, yes, all of this, and then go into meditation. And even if we just, spend 5 minutes of our time to go into how we feel and visions that we see and downloads that we get, we're spending 5 minutes connecting in the quantum realm, giving our conscious attention to creating this. And then take it one step further, you can practice sex magic and add orgasmic energy to that. Like
Yeah.
there's so much that couples can do once you have found your divine partner that you can grow with. There's so much that couples can do that is a powerful container for two people to go after the same vision and to create things that will yield a fulfilling life to the two of them.
I absolutely 100% agree. Everything that you said resonates and feels aligned and on point. And doing the inner healing work that the two need to be doing it together, meditating together. Like, this is something that most couples don't think is that important. I would call it a prayer meditation, where they sit in the morning and the evening together and have that beautiful alignment, faith, and connection. Like, what are we working on solving? Let's create a spiritual solution together. And how do we want this to look? What are our dreams or vision, or a main dream and vision we are working on? And let's go into the quantum realm and let's imagine it and feel it together. And like you said, taking a giant quantum step even further in adding orgasmic energy to that. And we've talked in the past, like there's been a podcast that we have done about that specific energy. It's something that I don't tread lightly on, because there are a lot of ideas about sexual relations and utilizing that creative power so appropriately, and why it's so important to understand the magnitude of that power. Because if it's used for darker, lower vibrational reasons, it will create the same illnesses over and over and over in thoughts, feelings, body, and experiences. And we like to try to excuse ourselves from this, because of course it's pleasurable and feels amazing, but there's things that are off with it. And because we are so addicted to those kinds of pleasures in the body, we excuse ourselves. But if we actually understand in the true order of creation that the complete and total commitment and loyalty and alignment mentally, emotionally, verbally, physically, and sexually for a couple is paramount and important for a container of trust to be able to create and build together and become true queens and kings on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a difference there. And it's, like I said before, it's a subject I don't tread lightly on. And it's going to take some time, I think, to get through some podcasts about that. But we're going to continue to move forward with where we're at. Kiki, you talked about creating meditations in regards to wealth. And I'm going to encourage you to utilize your gifts and be inspired in regards to wealth, health, romantic love relationships, or relationships in general, and living your perfect life purpose. Wherever you feel inspired to move first as to what people need around the world, I would definitely encourage you to utilize your gifts to move forward in that.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's summarize. So we've gone through the correct order of creation. We've debunked the myth of being taught backwards, why we create backwards, and why we continue to create backwards. We're basically starting at a thought level, using your imagination. Neville Goddard says your imagination is God. The frequencies of your emotional vibration matter. And then the spoken word, speaking with discipline and authority, and then intuitive inspired action. Your specific steps are thought and imagination process. Tend to your garden, weed the weeds out of your garden with discipline. When you notice the thoughts or the things that you're saying are not in alignment with what you're trying to create, take a moment right then to shut the gremlins down and alchemize the field. Then your word is your want. You are speaking your command to the elements of the universe. And then you take inspired action based on the downloads that you are getting when you spend time in meditation, the inklings that you're getting, and the universal synchronicities that line up around you. And you can see them, you can know to take action on them. And then Neville Goddard also talks about the faith, the law of assurance, living in the end, believing holistically that it is done. And I think maybe, I don't know if I should say that this is the tough one, because who am I to speak for others? But I think that's the lie that we have all believed for so long, is that we're really not that powerful to live in this law of assurance. So there's a lot to undo here. We've unpacked a lot. And I want to just add one more thing. There's a practice that I do when you say weed your garden and be disciplined in what you say and what you think. Or if you are noticing that a download is coming in that you want to receive, I don't push these things off, like you say, like act within that 5 seconds. There are
Hmm.
times where I'm standing in my kitchen with a spatula stirring my spaghetti, and all of a sudden I think a thought that I either need to get out of my head or something that I want to pull in. So if it's something that I want to get out, I will just stop, drop, and meditate for like a minute just to envision that that's leaving my field. Sometimes I dust off my third eye. Sometimes I, dust my physical body off. I get it out of my field and I release it. But I do it right then and there, because otherwise you're tucking away and you're like, I'm think I'm going to deal with this later, but you don't.
Hmm.
And you're not taking care of it at that point in time and alchemizing the field rapidly, as you say, in this specific phase. And then also sometimes I'll just be working away and all of a sudden I feel like I'm some receiving something, like I'm meant to receive something, a download perhaps, or even just a feeling or this intuition that will say like drop in and receive right now. So
Mm.
if I'm trying to create something beautiful, I'll get these inklings throughout the day where I'm just watering my plants or I'm doing something, driving, and then I'll pull over. I'll literally pull my car over and tune in for a second, and I will just like feel the receiving of the download that I'm getting, whether I'm envisioning like golden swirls coming in or my heart opening up to the good, the blessings in life that are there for me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I will literally do these energy alchemy things where I close my eyes. It only takes about a minute. It's not like the big process where you have to sit down and light the candle and do the meditation for a half an hour, humana, humana, humana. It's not like
Right.
that. It is constant in throughout your day. You are working this into your schedule, and it's just like you hear spirit, you're tuning in. Thank you very much. Thanks for the download. I'm now filled up with the joy. I'm now filled up with the light. I tuned into my vision. I'm feeling the feelings. Sweet. And now I go back to what I was doing, or got to get this out of my field. I'm taking care of it now. Thank you very much. Now I can get back to my thing.
I love that so much, Kiki. That is so important for people to understand because we're not always going to be, obviously, in a situation in which we can stop and take a 10-minute hiatus from what we're doing and clear things. I love that you said you dust off your third eye, you dust off your physical body, or when you recognize you need to just stop for just a moment and receive the energies and frequencies of even greater gifts, and just gratitude fills and opens your heart even more. And so to be as very simple and direct for us lovely human beings, we are, infinite beings having the human experience, we are going to respond to simplicity and directness. And so I love that you talked about how you can just alchemize the field within a minute. You can stop what you're doing, notice your thoughts, dust things off, let yourself, go back into a state of wholeness and be present, and, or in other words, help yourself do that. And so I think that's incredibly important for people to understand, is that it is a simple process. It's very powerful, and you are the creator of your moment, your now, and things that you are building for the future. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. As always, I have taken lots of notes. I know people are just going to benefit from this conversation so much. So thank you for your wisdom and for coming on and speaking with me today.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for inviting me and creating this opportunity for me to share with the world some very important ways of being in creation so that people can create what they want. And as we recognize old patterns that we live in, people can absolutely be in touch with those that can help them do their inner alchemy. I help people do their inner alchemy. And so you can reach out and be in touch with me. My Facebook name is Solei Jessica Ayers. My first name is spelled Soleil. And then Jessica is spelled traditionally Jessica, and Ayers is Ayres. So if you want to reach out to me there and friend me, and we can have a conversation through Messenger, we can start there and then be in connection that way. Because as you know, Kiki, as well as I know, energy work can be done anywhere. We don't have to meet face to face. I do energy clearings to help people clear their field if they need some additional assistance in their inner alchemy and support in that. That's something I've been doing a lot more of, as well as sessions that can take place in person if that's what somebody wants, if they want to come out and do healing and detox of their mind, and then a very transformative inner alchemy process. This is what Kiki did with me. What was it, around a year ago or a little more?
Yeah.
This was extremely powerful for her and her journey. And so that's also an option. Then you can reach out to me through Facebook and we can connect there.
Yes, you are incredible at what you do. You have a way to it's like you literally, I mean, I know it's because you work with your divine higher self and your intuition, but you can see exactly what the source is. Like when they have an issue, you're able to see exactly what needs to be done and handhold them through that process. It's just amazing. I've never met anybody like you. That's just so gifted in what you do. And the other reason that I really like you is because you don't bullshit and you're intense. And I like that. And there's so much compassion though that underlines that intensity, that you will not let someone go without, like, they can now go with confidence in their new self, in confidence that they have uncreated and recreated the thing in their life. I've never seen anybody do what you do, and you're really incredible at what you do. And you're on my show, I think, for the third time now. You're like my most frequent guest, and there's a reason for that. And there's lots more to talk about. So I think next time we'll come up with something else, maybe the four quadrants of life, as you were talking about. Maybe we'll talk more about the orgasmic energy. We've got a lot to say, and nobody else that I'd rather team up with than you. So thank you. And yes, please go talk to her. Find Solei. I literally just called her up one day because I found her through divine synchronicities and was just blown away at how she was able to see me, like truly see me through the phone, through the quantum realm, through distance, and then have such an incredible transformative journey with her. So if you are looking for some deep divine transformation, truly, Soleil does the energy work. She is very gifted in the neural pathways and uncreating and recreating neural pathways in the body and in the energy field and in the mind and in the spirit. So thank you so much for being who you are and for doing the work that you're doing for humanity.
Well, thank you so much for those loving words. I appreciate you as well. And I look forward to when we get together and create another podcast. This is exciting.
Me too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.